get it right one day. Hey, remember how many times you used to do the messages for your voicemail? It goes something like this. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for locking into another episode of I'll Piss You Off Shortly. This is the podcast where we debate everyday issues, pushing your thought process beyond what's normal. The topics discussed here are meant to be intense, promote growth, and at times may have you feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Me too, a little bit. We may not always agree, and we will more than likely have varied opinions. But with that being said, I can't promise to be your favorite podcaster. Neither do I want to. But I can promise to be transparent, fair, and open-minded. So please, if you think you've got the stamina, passion to debate, analyze, and challenge the normal, please take a number. I promise you, I'll piss you off shortly. Hey, mama, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? I was kind of thrown off for a minute because, like, I watched the YouTube because I've really been trying to dial into the YouTube comments. So for a second, YouTube was ahead. I was like, how is YouTube ahead than like the live video? I don't know what the hell's going on.
Oh, wow.
So I was like,
well, that's possible. It
so
could
then
be on a slight feed. I could see that.
So then it finally corrected itself. So I was like, cool, bet. I was like, I'm going to have to go off the YouTube. But anyways, what's going on, everybody? It is Monday night, so you already know what time it is. Welcome to the I'll Pitch You Off Shortly podcast with your hosts, Rob Benjamin and Joe Aguirre. Welcome to Monday night, everybody. Welcome, Joe. How you doing, brother?
Oh, things are going great over here. Big fight on Mother's Day, and just not what you wanted.
Just not what you wanted. You were just telling me a little bit about it during pre-production and everything, and just how like, especially when our kids get a little bit older, they start to grow up a little bit, and then try and make decisions on their own, and try to live a little bit. You're telling me how sometimes that can get like misconstrued, maybe, or just the lines can get blurred. And it's interesting because I having a son of my own, and then also want a daughter maybe one day. I got to learn kind of the lessons from you.
I did something brilliant for Mother's Day, Rob. I got my wife a nice hotel room.
There you
in
go.
Glastonbury.
Okay.
She ordered in. It was nice. She was gone all day Saturday. Came back on Sunday. She was in a great mood. It was really good. It was a good plan. She came home to some gifts. Nothing crazy,
nice and chill.
And then my 20-year-old came home from college, and it just didn't go well. It didn't go well.
Okay.
Not what you wanted. You know what I mean? Not the
especially on Mother's Day.
She and I have never had any issues ever before, so it was weird to like that's what it was. You wouldn't have expected that. So yeah.
Oh well, sorry you had to go through that. I mean, at least you know that this is nothing normal. Maybe that sounds
but now my
like,
wife is mad at me because she thinks I'm going to take my daughter's side, and I was like, no, of course I'm not, but she doesn't believe me.
Oh, see, this kind of goes back into like the conversation we were having last week of like, what more do you want me to do? Like how maybe it's proving through your actions. So maybe if it comes, but like when do you know it's like decision time, right, or decision day, or like who do I, when do you know it's time for you to prove, right? You don't know. So you're just like, when is that moment gonna happen where you're just like, where you're like, oh, do I choose the wife or do I choose the daughter? And then what if the daughter has a valid point?
Well, so that's sort of my strategy is right. I try to go with who's right, and my wife doesn't like that. My wife isn't a big fan of that. She doesn't think it should go that way, and I get that, united front and all that, but. When somebody's making a good point, what are you going to do? Tell them it's not a good point? I try to be fair and I'm mediator, but I guess that's undermining, and I'm not trying to do that.
Is it undermining if you're being honest? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, just how it maybe I'm thinking about it in the sense of, in the way of how you said, like, we don't lie to kids, right? We don't lie to kids about Santa. We don't lie to kids about the Easter Bunny, right? So even as adults, maybe even the whole undermining thing,
is not to say incorrect, but maybe something we need to look at as adults. Like it kind of can give the perception that adults are always right no matter what. When we know that adults aren't always right. Like sometimes our kids do get the best of us. And it's just like maybe if we're more honest about it and just being like, you know what, you got me, we wouldn't have to worry about, feeling undermined. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe like you're not being undermined. You just, they have a better point at this time. It's nothing wrong with somebody younger than you having a valid point in a sense, right? We might not like it. And maybe that just might have to do with other circumstances, but sometimes we have to be accepting of it. Just like for instance, for like when my 5-year-old catches me on something, I'm like, you got me. You're right. Now, I try to explain to him why, so he doesn't just think that all the time he can, whatever. But once again, that's a 5-year-old. So to him, it's kind of like more of a game versus a 20-year-old. So we're definitely playing in 2 different leagues. So I don't know. Just my little kind of side thought on that.
I don't know. I don't like any of it. I'm quite honest.
You're stuck in a rock and a hard place. So like,
I don't like that. I don't want to be in the middle. I don't like to be in the middle of stuff. You know what I mean? But
especially on Mother's Day.
Yeah, just in general, it's not really it's not my place. I guess you know what I mean. It's like, well, who's the problem with? But no, I mean, I guess this one is. I guess it's with me, but I don't know. Who knows?
Hopefully you're not in the doghouse too long. Hopefully it doesn't last too long. Now,
yeah, I'll shake it off.
There you go. Some flowers, maybe. Some flowers, double the flowers, or not too soon, but maybe like at the end of the week. Give her a little wink, little love tap on the behind, and
I'll get her.
Let her know you still love her.
I'll get her some Starbucks. Maybe
there
I'll pick up a little cheese plate with it or something.
There you go. There you go. But happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day to your wife. Happy Mother's Day to like everybody. If you're a mother watching right now, thank you for being a mother and loving and taking care of your children the way you have. Hopefully, if you're that mother, right? So like I even had to get checked on my mother's birthday, right? Because everybody doesn't have the best relationship with their mother, right? But it was interesting to come to find out and just kind of hear just in recent stories between like your interactions with your mother and how like you guys are, and then me and my mother, right? So I kind of wanted to not really dig into but kind of share different examples of like how it was being raised by our mothers and like the things that we experience and stuff like that. Like maybe even the things that like our parents try to get us to like cater to, or not cater to, but like live by, and things that we might have grew up and been like, you know what, you were kind of wrong with that, or kind of, this wasn't right? So like, touch on those things in a loving way for our mothers, right? And just, take this time to say Happy Mother's Day and kind of like reminisce about our mothers, in that sense, right? So I guess I'll start, right? So one thing I say off the rip is like, I definitely learned bad spending habits from my mom early, right? And not to say that like it's a bad, well, it is a bad thing, right? But not put dirt on my mom or anything like that, because everybody knows how much I love my mom. But like spending habits, of the fact of like being like, oh yeah, I got it, and then I'll have it in like a week or so. You know what I mean? Or like robbing Peter to pay Paul. She taught me how to hustle very, very well, right? And when I say hustle, just, make $1 out of nothing, right? Or all, how to sell something, how to sell salt to a slug, how to sell water to the ocean, you know what I'm saying? But like, it was always, I knew how to hustle or make $1 the right way, right? So I was never really, not to say I was never worried about money, but I knew that I would always be able to make it up, right? But that wasn't always the best way of thinking. But on the good side of things, my mom also taught me how to love and stay committed to somebody, never give up on somebody. My mom also taught me, like I said, how to hustle, how to make $1 out of 15 cents. She taught me a lot of like my street values and things of like way of life that I really appreciate. And then also just how she taught me how to love, between like how she like relentlessly, like effortlessly just loves on her children, right? And then also to my dad, right? Even till this day, even though he passed in 2012, like I don't think she'll ever love anybody the way she loved him, right? So it's just like those things, those lessons that she taught me, right? I always tell this story about the time where I was young, and it was around this time because the carnival, the local carnival in Middletown, was coming. And anybody that, a lot of you, of course, won't know, but like locally, this carnival is a very janky, right? Janky carnival. We used to go on like the Zipper, which was like the cricket, like the craziest ride, but like it looked like it was rusty and barely pieced together. But everybody found themselves at bracelet night at the carnival, so had to have been 2005, 2006. No, beginning 2006, right? There was an altercation at school. I got into it with a verbal altercation with a female, a lady at school, right? And it turns out that her boyfriend didn't like the altercation. I knew her boyfriend pretty well just through knowing people, right? But it wasn't like we were cool. Long story short, me and him get into an altercation, a verbal altercation, where it looked like he was about to pull like a knife or something out on me. Needless to say, I'm with my family, but my mom, she jumps on my chest, the front of my chest, and will not let me go. And she's like, if you think that you're going to stab him, you got another thing coming. You're going to have to get through me. I'm literally trying to fling her off. Like, literally, I'm trying my best. And I'm a big dude at this point. Like, and she is not letting go. I'm trying to, like, make sure I'm keeping my eye on this dude. This, that, and the third. My mom's my ride or die. So that's one of my craziest stories with my mom. Needless to say, nothing happened. Things got squashed. Well, things eased up. He ended up leaving. I can't remember if we got kicked out or whatever the case may be. But a couple years later, there's another story with him, but flipped, where, long story short, he was caught doing some shit. Me and my brother was wrong place, wrong time. The cops could have got all of us, but he took the fucking... He definitely looked out and was like, nah, they had nothing to do with this. They were wrong place, wrong time. And we were. So I kind of looked at him differently. You know what I'm saying? But once again, this was probably like 5-6 years later. Later on or whatever the case may be. It had to have been, like maybe like 6 years later. We both had matured and stuff like that. So like he definitely did a solid lookout. Ran into him a little bit later after he did his little time. And you know what I mean? Chopped it up, and we laugh about those moments now when we were younger. But not to get off the story, but yeah, shout out to my mom for always being my ride or die. There's rumor has it that she's gonna be moving down south. So I don't know. Everybody says I'm a mama's boy, so who knows? Down south might be calling me sooner than later, especially if she moves down south. If the rumor's true.
Who's starting this rumor?
She is. I was like, so she leaves to go down south like this week, right? And I was like, me and her were having a conversation, because me and her definitely talk 5, if not 6 times out the week. I try and give her a day off, right? But anyways, me and her were talking, and she was like, yeah, I'm getting myself ready. And I was like, yeah, ma, when you come in, oh no, I said, did you buy a single ticket, or did you buy a one-way ticket, or do you have a return flight? Avoids the question. Keeps talking about something else. So, I let it go by. 20 minutes later, avoids the question. I bring it back up. I said, oh, you were already over there for a while. You extended your stay. I get it. I understood. When I went down there, I extended my stay, right? So now she's going down there. And me and her ended that conversation. The next day, following day, I said, hey, Ma, you avoided my question, so I'm going to ask you again, and we're not going to talk unless you answer my question. You got a one-way ticket. She was like, no, I got a return ticket, but nobody says you can't change your flight. So I know that she's going out there to look at apartments. I know that she's going down there with all her stuff to do her little hustle, her little side hustle that she's doing down there. So, yeah, she ain't coming back, and I don't blame her. Look at it. Her 5 children are grown. All 5 children are grown, right? We're all situated. Her grandchildren aren't grown, but like one's a preteen, the other one's almost a preteen. You know what I'm saying? Like they have their own little friends and their cliques. They stay busy and stuff like that. So my mom's like, don't want to stay in Connecticut, don't want to be cold, so let me get the hell out of here. And I don't blame her. And it gives me a reason to follow. Like a super good reason to be down south now. Super good reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think as long as you're fine with the mama's boy label, it seems like you're more than
Yo,
comfortable with it.
I
That
tell you
doesn't seem to be an issue.
I tell you this right now. Call me a mama's boy, whatever you want. It's fine. My mom has never left me by my side. My mom has never done wrong by me. So I have one life to live, right? So if you want to come around now, trust and believe. When I'm in a relationship, that person I'm in a relationship comes first. But if I'm single and out here, I'm gonna enjoy my time with my mother because guess what? Me and my mother loves doing crazy things together, right? Like that's my best friend. That's one of my best friends. That's my ride or die. Sorry, I'm not. I'm at this point like where it's just like, especially now, me and you talk like, I'm living my life for me. For me.
You got to.
So it is what it is. Now, if you want to come around and you find yourself better and put me in a better situation, taking me off, taking me away from my time, which is not hard. It's not hard to get my mind off of hanging out with my mom because trust and believe, I've ghosted my mom, I've done all that, but it's just like now in the space that I am, why not enjoy it with somebody? If I'm gonna enjoy it with somebody, somebody I like, at least 5 days out the week. Let's see here. Sketchy, what's up, brother? Sketchy says, hey, Rob and Joe, shout out to all the mothers and grandmothers out there. Joe loving the White Claw in the background. Sip up, my friend. You all need to come to the best coast, the West Coast. So fine. What's up, Sketchy? First and foremost, we now have a location. Sketchy, we've literally been trying to find you and figure out who the hell you are. I'm not gonna lie. We're talking about honesty, right? We got to keep it honest. So you're on the West Coast, which is good to know. That means that like when we go over there, are we lower West Coast? Are we upper West Coast? Can I participate in medicinal flower where you are? Which isn't hard because like you could throw a map and like every state is like legal up there now, right? Out west. But anyways, we'll get to that later. But so what about you, Joe? What's your craziest story with your mother that you can remember?
Oh God, Jesus. So look, my mom is a interesting character. My mom's a Jersey Italian, like, with mob connection.
Does she have that accent? Please tell me she still has that accent.
My mother's lived in Connecticut since 1970. There's no reason at all why she should, but she's like, hey, I'm from New York. And you're like, no, you're not. Stop that shit.
I love it.
Living in Connecticut for 52 years. You don't talk like that anymore, you phony baloney. But my mom taught me, and this is, I think, a very Jersey Italian cultural thing, is that I think they talk about it in like Goodfellas and like The Godfather, like you got to keep up appearances, right? You got everything's like, hey, how's it going? And things could be horrible, and you're like, great, how are you? You know? So that was sort of always what we did. But I knew what was going on behind the scenes because, I lived there. And so I definitely learned how to be a bullshitter, how to paint a rosy picture.
Okay.
I could give you 15,000 different stories about that. Geez. I did a lot of things that were inspired by my mom. I did get kicked out of high school for starting a gambling ring. But again, like that was inspired by my mom. My mom, you talk about your mom sort of taught you how to hustle. My mom did too.
There you go.
It was like a kill or be killed mentality kind of.
Facts.
And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like there was, I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean, she did what she did. I was a shy kid, but my siblings were like deathly shy. And so my mom liked to like push me out front. And I'm like, hey, how's it going, everybody? Sort of by default. And, I guess that's why that happened, And,
gotcha.
Yeah. But maybe the greatest con of all time was when I got with my wife. My mom had been literally reading private messages between Jessica and a friend of Jessica's about the fact that she was single and oh yeah, sure. So I guess if there's a thing, my mom sort of spearheaded that.
She's ruthless. I like this.
Yeah, my mom set up a situation where my mom and I, my wife and her mom, and another girl and her mom were all supposed to meet for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And the day of, everybody was out except for me and Jess.
Smart ladies. Smart ladies.
Very, and now I'm married, so I don't know who the joke is on here. Just kidding. But that's what my mom does.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so stuff like that. I mean, have we done things illegal? Probably.
Probably. That's in the books. Like, I expect that. Like, not to say I expect it. Well, you know what? Now hearing the stories of your mom, yeah, I kind of expect that. Like, if you're like, yeah, she taught me these things, but we never really did anything outside crazy, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of boring. Like, what's the point of having a cool ass mom and not kind of like press the limits? I was definitely that person out of 5 kids. I was down with the shits with my mom. Like, anytime my mom was trying to go do something crazy, or, you know what I mean? I'm making it seem like we're Bonnie and Clyde out this shit, but like when she was like late night driving, or she wanted to do her late night adventures to the 24-hour Walmart, yep, I'm down. You know what I mean? Yeah. You want to go to New York to go get some White Castle late at night? Yeah, I'll ride with you. Like, crazy, you know what I mean? Crazy things like that.
It's hard to be a favorite child.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pressure, I think, to being the favorite, and I was.
I'm definitely not the favorite.
Yeah, but I was. But I think that was part of our problem. And like, my mother used to say to me when I would she would say, "Don't bullshit a bullshitter," right? And now I'm like 45, and I'm like, lady, come on, we're same level. Don't bullshit me. I mean, there's no. I think that's kind of where we butt heads is that. Again, I mean, the biggest problem we've had the last 5 or 6 years has been politics. Where, I mean, I could literally explain something to her with like a mathematical equation, and I don't know, I'm just saying, you can't trust these guys, and you're like, what are you fucking talking about? Where did that come from?
Like, I wonder at what age is it just like appropriate just to accept that they're stuck in their kind of beliefs and ways, right? And either side of the spectrum. Like, I'm sure your mom is 70 plus, right? I would assume.
Yep.
Okay. So like at that point, like 70 plus, if I've been some way, especially for 50 something years, how likely is it that I'm really going to change?
I don't know. Like, why do you have to stop growing as a person because you're old? I found that I feel like in the last 10 years, I did. I mean, I went from being a very conservative person to being a very progressive person. So you could definitely change.
Well, you can definitely change. You were just telling me about
my mom and I literally a few years ago had a big fight where that's the words that came out of her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, I'd say, 5 years ago. She was like, I'm 70 years old. I'm never going to change. And I was like, well, then that's a problem.
And I take that back, because now that you say that, and then me and you were talking about somebody of that age changing their whole, their whole lifestyle, or, pursuing something I guess they've wanted to do forever, right? I'm like, I guess you can change, especially at a certain age, of that age, right?
If you can, like, late in life become like a Trump-supporting right-wing lunatic, then you could do anything, I would say.
Well, that wasn't hard. That wasn't hard to become a Trump-supporting lunatic, especially if you're already on the right side. That was just
what if your history is hippie at Woodstock?
Yeah.
Ah.
But you know what? Even then, though, like, how many true hippie Woodstock conservatives are there now? They're probably like their Woodstock paraphernalia is all in a box packed away, like, and they probably look at it once a year and just reminisce back to the days, and then put up their button up their tie and straighten up their jacket and then go ahead and go about their day. Like those are those Woodstock guys. Let's see. Sketchy goes, loving the pinky up while you sip the White Claw. Joe, you're so. I was about to say.
I wasn't even thinking about the pinky up when I did it. That's how unintentionally unironic that was.
That's how you know fucking Joe's fucking bougie as shit. Good call, Sketchy. Good call.
Did I tell you this story? I went golfing with some of my buddies a few weeks ago.
Yo, you're always golfing. You stay golfing for somebody that was like, yeah, I need to cut back on golfing. So I can only imagine how much golfing you did in the day.
Oh, there was a ton. Like a lot. But so we went golfing the other day, and my buddies, they're all drinkers. They like beer, and I'm not a beer. I've just never liked beer. Like this kind of stuff. Like, when Zima was out, I drank Zima.
Gotcha.
I don't care. It was good. I like that kind of stuff. So this is... But yeah, I had like a 6 in the fridge, and I was like, oh, I should bring some. And then I thought, no, they'll make fun of me. I can see it now.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Word.
The White Claw.
What are you, a fag? Do you drink White Claws like a basic white bitch drink? Yeah, I enjoy it. So what?
Yeah, I know.
We get to the first hole, and my buddy goes, hey, he goes, you guys want some waters? And I didn't know what he meant by that. Apparently, that was code between these guys. They knew what it meant.
Oh, White Claws.
White Claws. I was
sucking
like,
those waters
way,
down,
dude. You guys too? That's amazing. Like, oh, what? This
White
is
Claw
gonna sound
society,
stupid.
bro.
Here's the kind of problems I have. That was a huge weight off my shoulders.
Yeah, you were finally accepted. Like, you figured out that other people were
to
accepting
know that
White
I could
Claws.
drink White Claw in front of like my boys. I was like, oh my God, yeah, because I thought this was gonna be weird.
See, I don't drink, but you know who I learned about White Claws through? My brother-in-law, and he's like a big drinker. So like, to me, that's how I gauge things between like my actual like brother and then my brother-in-law. Those two drink. So if they're drinking it, hey, it must be something good. Like, I wouldn't mind if I had to go to a party. That's what I would grab. I wouldn't mind grabbing a White Claw because I know people that really drink White Claws, and I know it's gonna be accepted. So White Claw, go ahead and cut us the check. We'll keep Joe will keep scarfing them down. I promise you. That's how good it gets over here. But since we're talking about mothers, I figure we go ahead and switch paces, and then we were talking about fathering a little bit, right? And we'll kind of reel it in as on the parenting tip. I saw this video on Facebook, and I just busted out laughing, and I said, like, I remember being there, like, so tired but still wanting to be there for your child, and you got duty. You're the person watching or whatever. You're on nap duty or whatever duty it is. And these kind of things happen. This has never happened to me, but I felt for the brother, and then his recovery was so great that even the baby was like, I'm not mad, and I'm going back to sleep. Let's check the video.
Steven, look at the baby.
Yo,
Yeah,
definitely
twice.
not.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Eden.
Yeah.
See, now you got to cut her a little slack, you know.
Eden also fell off her bike once and landed inside the Christmas tree. That was the last time she disobeyed me. I was like, "Don't do that. I'm going to leave the room for a minute. Don't jump on that bike while I'm out of the room."
That
She
is
did and
hilarious.
fell head first into the tree.
Yes. Was that in the
Little
house
feet
now?
sticking out. God, no.
Oh, okay.
No, God, no. That was like,
Oh, no, that was, okay. That was
yeah,
a while
like
ago.
18
Okay.
years ago. Yeah. she
Oh,
was-
okay.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That's funny.
Christmas passed.
Christmas, the days of Christmas past. So talking about past, and I know I've been bringing this up in the past recently, and this is probably going to end up being a new segment on the show. I don't know what the hell I'm going to call it, whether it's like Rob's Road Rage or whatever, but like, or elementary bloopers, or like the shits, like, I don't know, like drop off for dummies. Oh, I kind of like that, drop off for dummies. Like my guide to like, we should do that. We should do like a skit. My guide to like how to drop your child off at school the right way, you know, like not block people's driveway, or like not try and cut in line, or not, how about like not holding up a major road, like a state road, because you're waiting 5+ minutes to turn left because the traffic is already stopped to turn into the school, right? Let's do we have the video loaded up?
Oh hell yeah!
So yeah, well, I made sure to pull this out so everybody could believe me and not think that I was just bullshitting, right? So here I am. You guys see my lovely face here. No, I was not moving at the time. My car was parked, and from my view, literally, my vehicle is if you think of a T, like we're thinking of a T intersection, right? I don't know which is the best way to fucking view it, but the ass end of my car. I don't know how to fucking. I don't know. Here we go. The ass end of my car. It is so awkward. Is my fingertip. This is the main road. This is my ass in the car. I'm the last space. Like I'm the. You can't go anywhere, right? So, what does this idiot decide to do? They're on the oncoming side of traffic, right? So they're turning left. They have to turn left to go on the road just to start to get in the back of the line to go online. So watch this video and we'll talk.
All right, y'all. So I'm literally in line. That's the main road. I'm literally at the last spot possible before you make yourself like in the middle of the road, right? Like you can't get any more further, right? So literally, I had some idiots in that spot right there, just sitting, just blocking, impeding traffic, and just waiting. So like, okay, so here we go. Now she's on the main road. Oh my God, I hate people. Where's she? Can you see? Oh,
Correction, this is for pickup. This wasn't for drop off. This is for pickup,
right
which
there.
is even
So
worse.
now she's literally just blocking traffic in the main road. She was literally right there where that black car was, just parked. Not, you know what I mean, just sitting there. And cars had to go around her. She was to the left side. Like, I really dislike people. So here we go. We're gonna see what these.
Bet, red car right here.
We're gonna just sit here and park and just wait, or what are we gonna do?
Literally just stopped.
Literally, she's just. This person now is just blocking, and this is why I say I get so pissed off at people.
I'm parked, Joe. My car is
Now
parked.
there's mad cars waiting, and they just have a turn signal. You're on a main road. Main road.
Do you see this, Joe?
So now
Like,
you have
yeah.
to block traffic because you're waiting
Like,
to turn right.
and
Which-
I feel like our listeners feel like
Not
I
moving
just
for
be
another
fucking
2-3 minutes.
written. But like, this is
I
how
hate
stupid people.
People. And people be wondering why I'd be like snapping and stuff. Look, people bark, people honking because they're just sitting there. Just sitting there in traffic.
Look at all them
traffic
cars.
to turn when they're not even going to be turning. No
Wow.
time soon. Look at this. Look at this. I hate people.
To turn.
Now, the person behind me only had to move because there was a fire truck that came by. But now you got, look, now they're just holding up traffic. I'm not blocking that driveway. Look at them. Because this is what they'll go do now, right? I can't even flip my damn camera, but they'll go block somebody's fucking driveway to like, I'm not blocking somebody's driveway. That's as much as I'm going up. Y'all better go around or something. Look, just holding up
Look
traffic,
at that.
waiting
Literally.
to turn left.
Joe, this shit aggravates the fuck out of me. I swear to
That's
God.
amazing. No self-awareness.
They don't care. And then literally, I sat there for another 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes. And then it was that vehicle. Another vehicle just sat there. Another vehicle just sat there. Another vehicle. Like, it was like 4 vehicles just sitting there. Still just traffic sitting there. Like, this shit gets so aggravating. So, here we go, right? So, today, this morning drop off. Here we go. Everybody has their kid in the effing car. I'm towards the back again, Joe. Sketchy, hold up. Before Sketchy goes, you are all too nice in CT. And CA, that person would have been drug out their vehicle or would have get whooped. You should have laid on your horn and others would have joined people or cooks. You're right, yo. Like, I have to be nice. I can't. I'm the big black father in the nicer side of my town. Like, this is where all, you know what I mean? This is where the mayor will be sending her school, you know what I mean? Her child to school because she just had a kid not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got all the nice shit first. Like, the mayor made sure to put the nice pool, the new pool on this side of town. Like, literally across from the school. So, like, I as the big black dude can't just go snap. I don't know none of these parents, and I don't know if they have fathers or like husbands and shit like that, and I don't know if their husbands are ready to go to the extent that I'm ready to go to. And I know how women get. They'll go. I say that because I know how my woman gets. I have to question her 20,000 times because boom, everything gets blown the fuck out of proportion, right? So like she'll probably meet somebody and be like, "Oh my god, this lady da da da," and I'm like, "What did she really do?" And when you really like start breaking it down, the lady probably didn't even do what she said she did, right? So like for me, I don't want her to take it there because I don't know dudes, I don't trust dudes, and you know what I mean. I like to keep the peace. So I would love to sketchy like to like get on them, but like I'm ready to the point to start calling the cops. Start ready to be in the Karen. So anyways, back to my story today. I promise you I'm gonna keep the story short.
Karen always lives. That's the other thing.
That's it. Yeah, Karen always lives, right? Might get a fine, but Karen always lives, right? So here we are. I start to pull up, and as I'm pulling up, because I'm always staying vigilant of what the hell's going on, right? I notice that this car that literally has just pulled, because I'm in the back, has just pulled, made that turn, is trying to squeeze into the spot because the person behind me must have been like on their phone or whatever, which I get when you're sitting there for fucking 10 minutes waiting to drop off a kid. I do it. You put your phone on, you put the car in park, the kid's talking your ear off, and you just sit there scrolling, yep, sure, whatever the case may be. You lose, you know what I mean? You lose track. Now, don't be an asshole because you just pulled onto the road and everybody else is still behind you and try and squeeze behind. So you know me, Joe. I'm a team player. I didn't start moving, figuring that she would try and like go around me. As soon as she tried to go around me, I scooched up. So she couldn't get in front of me. So she tried to back up and get into the spot behind me. I kind of backed up a little bit. Needless to say, long story short, we played this little fucking back and forth game for 2 minutes as I told her to take her ass in the back. She proceeded to say, "I can't hear you. Why should I go in the back?" Literally yelling out her window. So I said, "Oh, you're just that dumb." Needless to say, she ended up parking her car up the road, getting her kids out. And I felt bad because there were two beautiful black young girls. But like, their mom had to learn a lesson today. Like, you're not just going to be cutting in front of people just because you see an empty gap when there's like 20 cars behind you. Sorry, lady. If you're running late today. You better fucking learn how to fucking time yourself better. I run late. Shit, I was running late today. Sucks to be you. Either if you're running late, you need to go park your car and then walk your kid up the walkway, just like everybody else does. She ended up doing that. Learned that lesson today. So if you are a parent listening to this, by some chance you got like geotagged or whatever, because you're local, and your kid goes to my kid's school, if you see me, you can either say hi or you can say bye or F you, whatever the case may be. But I definitely will be the school Karen of like the drop off parents. Let's see here. Sketchy says, go to the school and have someone enforce the cars like they do at the airport, drop off, pick up. Hell, I'll do it for free. I love a constant people yelling at them for their stupidity. Like, I say that all the time. Like, half of the time, I just want to, like, have my mother-in-law, his grandmother, have his grandmother go pick him up, and then me just go by, like, all the blocked driveways where the parents try and block the driveways, and me just pull into them. Like, me act like I'm wanting to pull into them, so they have to get out the fucking way. And then that means they probably lose their spot. And then I just pull in the driveway and then pull back off. Every driveway, because that's another thing, like, it's a pet peeve of mine. I hate when people do it to my driveway. Like, don't fucking block my driveway, so don't do it to anybody else. Because sometimes we're sitting there for fucking... Shit, when I go for drop-off, you know how long I sit in the car with him for drop-off? I sit about 28 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. That's how early we get there for drop-off, if I want to get in the front of the line. If not, I'm waiting until almost 30 minutes plus. So even, you know what I mean? Either way, it's like 30 minutes. It's a 30-minute wait to drop off. Because if I go early, I got to wait 30 minutes. If I show up right at drop-off, it's about 30 minutes to drop off. So.
That's crazy.
Fucking crazy out here. Oh man, let's go ahead and pay some bills. Let's pay some bill with some sticky beaks. Did we start with sticky beaks today?
We did not.
All right, let's put sticky beaks on the map. Well, shit, they're putting us on the map because sticky beaks is blowing the hell up. From what I
Clovercrest Media Group is proud to present Season 2 of Sticky Beak.
He threatened to kill her, you know. He said it out loud. He said, "I will kill you." She did not believe him.
I think the circumstances were dubious about her disappearance because she had run away several times prior.
She told me he hasn't told a soul. The man driving the car, whoever he was, nobody's ever said a peep. It was never talked about again, even between the two of them. And I'm not sure those two even saw each other after this.
In a no-body case, you generally need time and seclusion to dispose of the body.
She told me that he's been lying. He lied about this whole thing.
In his own mind, he probably does love her in a way we would consider particularly sick or twisted, but I think in his own mind, he does love her.
She felt like she was climbing the walls, which isn't a phrase that a kid would use, but that's what she's telling me. Like, she felt like she was almost trapped. She said she was trying to look for a way out.
I won't go into detail, but I would say you're hot.
Subscribe to Sticky Beak wherever you listen to podcasts.
What's going on? What's going on? Sticky Beaks. Yo, I'm telling you, I've revisited and I'm episode 3 and I'm loving it. I've been
It's if you talk to my wife, it's
Oh my God.
all she'll talk about. I was on the phone with Jared Jones last night,
Yep.
who's having his own personal issue, and he wanted to talk to me about it.
Okay.
We're good friends like that. And she was like, "Hey, Jared, just so you know, I'm here. I'll keep my mouth shut." That lasted for like 3 minutes. And then she was like, "I don't mean to interrupt, but," and then I swear to God, Rob, within like a minute, she's like, "I don't want to just make this about Doreen." And it's like, well, it's about his problem. And then for like 20 straight minutes, all she talked about was Sticky Beak. She's very excited about it. It's very good. There's the first 4 episodes of the new season are written.
There we go.
I've got 2 of them in production, and we'll get the other 2 started probably at the end of the week.
There we go. Look
Very
at that.
exciting times. Very exciting.
Make sure you guys, if you ever want to know where you can go listen to Sticky Beaks, you guys already heard, clovercrestmedia.com/Sticky Beaks. Hey, bon qui. Salute to the brother Rob. Appreciate you, brother. I was just about to actually respond to that on the chat. But yeah, so I was thinking about, oh shoot, excuse me. I don't know. I gotta stop. Anyways, so I was thinking about what my next kind of like venture could be. I've been looking like researching a lot of things about AWS, like the shipping things, and like how like you can not AWS, because that's a whole different thing. But like Amazon shipping services and how you like drop shipping and stuff like that. Just I always like to keep myself thinking in a business mindset because I am working on a project that I've been explaining about recently, right? Well, I've talked to you about it. But anyway, so I came to do a little bit of research, and within my research, I came to find out that camping gear. Well, I gave away the answer. I should have asked, do you know what the next pandemic in-demand item is for like 2021? So last year was like toilet paper and bicycles. If you had to guess, what is it this year?
Oh, let me think on this for a minute. I'm going to say outdoor equipment inventory.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right there. So I was like coming into a whole shortage. So the way I came about this, right? Because I was like, you know what? I'm sure as like the summer comes around, people are definitely going to want to be going like camping. Like a seasonal thing. So I was looking for like tents, especially talking to the people that I've been doing some business deals with recently or trying to, inquire about doing some deals with. So I said, hey, do you have tents? Do you have these items? Which, by the way, whenever you Google, just a little side of like hint, and for anybody that uses like Google Translate to people in a whole different country, right? Especially if you're doing business or deals. One thing I learned, Google Translate is good, but when you translate something to that language, what you need to do is copy that translation, right? Or it'll show you. But what I do is I copy that translation and flip the translation and let it show you what that means in English. And then kind of direct what you're trying to say. Make sure it makes sense that way. Because literally doing some more deals and some business things, I realized that my translations, especially with tent, were not the right. I definitely wasn't coming off saying the right thing, so it sounded really crazy. So like instead of like, "Hey, I'm looking for a tent," it was like, "Hey, I'm looking to pitch you," and they're like, "Pitch," and I'm like, "No, I'm not looking like to pitch anything. I'm looking for a tent." I guess the translation somehow, some way, when you put it in certain contexts. So like you really have to kind of play with it. So I learned to, kind of like translate what I'm doing, but then translate that to read. It's a process, but I've gotten nice at it. Let's see here. Frank, what's going on? Devonna, there we go. Camping gear. Happy Monday, JT, brother. What's going on? People said people want to do. Frank says people want to do outdoor activities. Yes, that's very true.
Frank lives under a bridge. That's why he is into outdoor activities.
Yo, I know where Frank's car wash is now. It's the car wash that's next to the bridge, and what's the game that all the kids play, the shoot 'em up game, Fortnite. There's a car wash next to a bridge. We found it.
There it is.
But yeah, so camping gear. So I went to go look up for tents. And they were like, "Yeah, no, we don't have tents. We don't have the we don't have the material stuff and that, or it's a shortage." And it was high, like the ones that they had. I wasn't willing to pay that price. But anyways, so yes, camping gear is definitely out. News that we probably. Oh, you were about to say something?
Well, here's what you don't know.
Okay.
I'm from the suburbs.
Okay.
I'm white and I'm 45. I already have a giant tent and sleeping bags. I mean, I've got a whole setup there for the camping.
See, but you also have a yard where you can just literally go camping, like do a solid camping trip.
Oh yeah, we've done that. We've done that many times. Set up the tent and just slept outside.
See, yeah,
on the grill.
I can't wait for the summertime because definitely one of our episodes after, like, I'm bringing the kid, like, I'm bringing Donnie over and like they can sleep outside and we can just literally shoot the shit and fucking.
We'll roast some marshmallows after the show, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, kids can get eat roasted marshmallows. We can get roasted. That's awesome. That White Claw. See, I'm telling you, everybody do us this favor. I know. Make sure, outside of sharing this right now, you guys are blowing up the comments. Make sure you guys liking, subscribing, all that good stuff, feeding the algorithms and all that other good stuff, right? Make sure you guys like. But hit up White Claw. Start tagging White Claw. Let me see White Claw, like, at White Claw in these comments. So, like, White Claw can see that, like, they have a platform that they can consort with.
If White Claw were to send me one free tall White Claw, it would be worth it.
See? Everybody tag White Claw. Let me see White Claw in the comments wherever you're at. I'm telling you right now, like, if we could get just one White Claw for Joe from White Claw, or even like a special edition or the big boy, we'd be happy. What about the grizzly bears, though? How you keep them away from the tent? Yo, I don't know. I probably have to keep my peace with me. Low key, just I feel safer that way. I've always low key wanted to hunt a grizzly bear, or not a black bear. I wanted a big black bear. And I know it sounds bad, but I would never do it because I love bears. But I feel like as a challenge wise, like it would have to be a true huntsman thing. Like maybe not a gun off rip, but I don't know. White Claw.
Dude, here's another thing you don't know about me.
What you don't know about Joe. Let's go!
Here's what you don't know about me and my neighborhood. We actually have a bear. And every couple of years, he has to be sent away, but he comes back. He comes back every couple of years.
What's the bear's name?
Yogi, I guess.
Yogi, that's bullshit. That's a horrible name.
I don't know it. I don't know him that well. All I know is the last time he came through, like 2 years ago, he shit in my neighbor's yard across the street.
I've never seen a bear shit. So, like, was it huge? Like, I imagine, like, when you say, like, a bear shit, like, this big-ass pile of, like, elephant shit. Low-key. Hey, boo-boo. That's funny, JT. I guess so. In other news that we're probably not going to give a hell about next week, right? Were you ever like a Bennifer fan or even a J-Lo fan? Like
I
to
don't
the
know
point-
what that means. No, I'm just
Bennifer.
kidding. Yeah, listen, it's funny when my wife and I got together, it happened to be coincide with that happening.
Yep.
And so some of our friends started taking to calling us Josica, which I didn't find that all that funny. Here's my thing. I just saw a little while ago on Twitter, John Mulaney, the comedian, and his wife are divorcing, and she's devastated. And I saw that, and I thought, yeah, I don't care. I've never been a big fan of celebrities and celebrity marriages and that kind of jazz.
Same.
I thought these two, that was pretty weird. Lopez and
A-Rod.
and
Or
Affleck. That never felt right to me.
So I really didn't give a damn. Don't give a damn about whatever. But I bring that up because it was a very, very good joke. I think very, very bad but good joke. I heard, and it was like it got me thinking, right? And I know the ladies are gonna kill me in this comment, but I'm ready to be toxic for a little bit, right? So one of my boys says, "Yo, J-Lo, she's had probably 5 different engagement rings, right?" And I said, yeah, true. He said 5 top 50 men, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, in the eyes of, like, probably, like, women wanting and stuff like that.
Right. Not Chris Judd, though, but
the others, right?
For sure, yeah.
Mark Anthony, Diddy, Ben Affleck, A-Rod, you know what I'm saying? Like, these, right? So, is it the men? At what point, and this is what he said, at what point is it the men or is it her? And then he proceeds to say, if I were a betting man, I bet you... He said, if I were a betting man, I bet you something below her belly button stinks. And it's not her feet. And I said, wow. That's hilarious in my mind. But then I said, you know what? That could be true. Like, and he said, and I know it sounds bad. He said, kind of to the equivalent of, like, imagine if, like, some, like, the craziest guy in the, like, not the craziest guy, but the most wanted man in the world, right? He was like that everybody wanted, that all these girls wanted, and then he just had a small penis. You would probably wonder why Michael B. Jordan is going through, like, 8 women. Because they want him so much in this world, and then they go to get him sexually. He just doesn't have a big penis or a penis that can satisfy them, right? So I said, you have a point. I gave him a point for that. I said, that's a valid point. I went to say it to one of my women friends. They thought I was being a sexist at the point. So I said, I won't tell this joke outside of I'll piss you off shortly. Because I thought it was funny. But, see... Devonna says it's trash, but I thought it was funny. Trash, they say we're here too long for that. I don't know. I've known some of my boys that, like, we would all go to the club and we all knew who it was smelling like that back in the car. And they were together for a while. I don't know what it was, but, hey. She sucks at partnership. I definitely agree with that. But, anyways.
Well, also, I think she's a sociopath.
I agree with that. Like, I feel like everything about her has to be a move to keep her relevant. Just like I saw there was a performance, I guess, like Sunday or whatever, where they did like a COVID or vaccination concert, which I was like, how are you doing anyways, you're doing a whole concert for the vaccination, and it was like one of her songs was like, I kind of felt offended because, like, I felt like she was kind of talking to me. I felt like she was just like, oh, no, she was like, I'm not your mama. Yeah, that's why I felt offended. I kind of low-key felt offended. But then I was just like, she only comes out when it's like she's in the news or there's something about her. I mean, which a lot of celebrities do, but, like, it seems like it's outside of the same old songs that she performs. She doesn't do anything new. She hasn't done anything new. All we've really known her about is, like, her relationships. Some things you should let your friends keep to themselves. I agree. But, I don't know. I didn't even want to spend this much time on J-Lo. That's enough on J-Lo.
I don't mind talking about J-Lo. I really don't. Again, I watch her and I think to myself, there's something's not right with that person. You know, and I mean, I understand. Look, they got to be all image conscious or whatever, but I mean, I don't know. Live a life. Don't you ever want to be a normal person? Wouldn't that be awesome to not have to like worry for a whole day? Because that's got to be exhausting, I would think.
Definitely. Like you would think that she would probably just go like and go live not under a rock, but like you said, like go be with her children. Because doesn't she have children with Mark Anthony?
Oh God, I mean,
I don't know. Not to be the gossip. I really don't want to be the fucking gossip podcast.
She must.
But like I'm pretty sure she has children. Like go,
yeah.
do all that shit with like your children and like go relax. But anyways, listen to us men telling a woman or suggesting what a woman should do. We'd be canceled if we were big enough. We'd be canceled.
Yeah, but I'm saying J-Lo's not a normal woman. I don't think you could speak. I don't think you're offending like, the rank and file women of America if you're like, there's something ain't right there.
Facts.
I don't think anybody sees it that way.
Facts. I see somebody talking about something that was actually coming up in the comments. Jake Paul snatched Mayweather's weave, which was hilarious. Have you been following up on that?
Yeah.
So, like, first and foremost, is this what boxing has come to?
It's a shame, and it shouldn't, because there's actually a lot of really good boxers. There's the heavyweight division is great. There's some great light heavyweights, middleweights, lightweights. I mean, they've got my goodness gracious. And there's like boxing has really taken to. You know who Bob Arum is? You must know the name Bob Arum. He's one of the big boxing promoters. If you don't know who he is, he's an 800-year-old white guy. And he's really struggling to get eyes on his fighters, and his currently the best pound for pound fighter in boxing, I believe, is a fellow by the name of Terrence Bud Crawford.
Okay.
Undefeated boxer. He's great. He's just a great fighter. He's a lefty, fast hands. He kind of reminds me of Roy Jones Jr. This guy's undefeated, best fighter in the world. He's from Oklahoma. Right, like all-American dude or whatever. Good family man. He's got a bunch of kids. Right, drives his nice Escalade. This guy's like Americana Maximus.
Okay.
They can't get him like big pay-per-views.
Why is that? Because I'm looking him up right now. It seems like
according to Bob Arum, he needs to get an Instagram account, which, by the way, Buddy Crawford does. I don't know. Boxing just doesn't seem to be relevant, and I don't know if it's because MMA is slapping it around so hard. I mean, the UFC, I think, has really surpassed boxing.
I remember when they were saying nobody would watch UFC like that.
Yeah, well, so the problem is in the UFC, dude, you have to fight. You can't dodge people. They don't allow it.
And that's what I don't like about Mayweather. He's a defensive fighter. Like, I get it. You got to have defensive skill. But he's a prominently defensive fighter.
Right now, in the middleweight division of boxing, there's like 6 guys who are like all undefeated champions, and nobody wants to fight each other. And like one guy moved up to super middleweight, and one guy dropped. Like nobody, they don't want to fight each other, and so you got to watch these guys beat up like journeymen. And then after the fight, they're the shit. I'm gonna beat you up. Blah, blah, blah. Bud Crawford's main rival said that he wanted a 60-40 split. He's not, I mean, it's like you're not even on his level. 60-40 you? What do you want, drugs, bro? You're lucky he's even going to fight you and beat your ass. So boxing is a shit show, and so it's allowed this idiot, this little shithead Logan Paul, to come in there, and I mean, it doesn't surprise me that I mean, Floyd Mayweather is 95% responsible for all this shit.
Gotcha.
He waited till Manny Pacquiao was 68 years old to fight him. I mean, Mayweather, even looking at Teofimo Lopez, dude, he wanted to wait for him to fight Lomachenko. The whole thing's a shit show. It's all because of Mayweather, and it's allowed an idiot on YouTube who will never fight a real boxer because he'll get mutilated.
And that's what I'm
have
saying.
a chance against any of these guys. Mayweather's not going to hit him hard, though.
So what comes out of this? Is it a draw? Does a draw come out of it? Because Mayweather's definitely not losing. Like they're not gonna let Mayweather lose off of this, right? Logan Paul is not gonna be the person that knocks Mayweather out or Mayweather loses to, right?
How much would that rematch be worth?
What, for Logan Paul? Yeah, for Logan Paul to do it,
Dude,
to lose and rematch. There's no
say Logan Paul knocks out Mayweather, and it's all big part of the plan, and then Mayweather's got to get his belt back, and Logan Paul shit talking for a year, and there's like a whole bunch of like specials and shit on TV about it, and believe me.
Do you think that
this seems like a horse shit? Like something bad's gonna happen here that's gonna necessitate this being dragged out even longer.
See, I agree with Bone Quigley 2 points, right? He said exactly. They care more about keeping their zero stay undefeated. Exactly. I'm telling you, Mayweather is not. If Mayweather loses to Logan Paul, that tarnishes his whole record. Like, you beat all these other boxers, but Logan Paul.
Oklahoma. I meant Nebraska. That's right.
Oh, Omaha, Nebraska. Oh yeah. But so yeah, I don't see Logan Paul winning. I see Logan Paul probably losing to be able to do another rematch to get more money, but where can he go after Mayweather? Like, outside of this, of course he's getting like, I heard from like 20 million or something for this fight or some shit like that. But it's like, after this fight, what are you doing? Maybe he's done with it. But no, because the other one is Jake, right? Because it's the whole brother duo. Because Jake is taking over boxing, right? Or UFC or whatever. No, he fought a UFC fighter, but he's doing boxing. So yeah, they're both doing it. My opinion, Pernell Whitaker, better defensive boxer. Okay.
Sweet Pea, definitely the one of the greats of all time. Pernell Whitaker for sure.
Facts. JT, I see you too. It's definitely all about that money, but I just don't think that the money is going to over influence their reputation, especially Floyd. Like that's what Floyd is literally. That's the only thing he's not only thing, but that's what his standing ground is. You can't be the undefeated boxer. You're out here knocking what, a 14-year-old out when he did the Asian. He did an Asian boxing ring and ended up knocking the young boy out. So like, yeah, nah. I think Tyson's the GOAT. Facts. I don't know if I want to see another Tyson fight though. I think I'll pass on that. Unless they literally get the Holyfield rematch going, like outside of that, then yeah, I'm good.
Roy Jones Jr. I thought was the greatest fighter I've ever seen, and Bernard Hopkins actually said that he feels this generation's greatest fighter was also Roy Jones Jr. and his career ended on a rough ending to it, but put it to you like that. But to see him and Tyson fight, I mean, I don't ever want to watch anything like that again. I think that was disgraceful and sad.
Was it sad for their careers, or was it sad for boxing?
It was sad for all of those things.
Okay.
Like, dude, guys, be a fucking trainer if you need to be involved in the game. You want to spar with some young buck, and then do that. But to go on TV and think that you should get money to box, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I love Roy Jones Jr. I literally was like embarrassed for him, and I don't know that he felt the shame of that, but it was pathetic. And I mean, he's not good anymore. His skill was speed, and at 53 years old, he doesn't have that.
He ain't got that no more, and it showed.
He looks stupid out there, and to Mike Tyson's credit, I mean, Mike knew the deal. They weren't like throwing uppercuts. That wasn't like, I'm gonna knock the other guy out.
Yeah,
that whole
nice little exhibition.
The whole thing was stupid. I don't need to see Tyson and Holyfield fight again. I really don't. I have zero interest in that. If this was 1991, yes. This was 1997. Yes.
But not right now.
2003. Fucking maybe. Probably not even in 2003. 2008, definitely not. 21, go fuck yourself. I wouldn't pay for this. I wouldn't pay. I won't. I won't. I wouldn't. Definitely won't pay to watch Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield fight as two pathetic old men who are friends now.
True.
I mean, if Mike Tyson was gonna punch his face out at the press conference, and then they were gonna fight, and I'm like, dude, maybe Mike will take a fucking another bite out of him. Then I would be interested. But they're buddies now. Now there's even less incentive to watch it. But it's all open the gateway to this bullshit, this Logan Paul kid. I mean, I hate Floyd Mayweather, but I hope Floyd hits Logan Paul so hard that his fucking head spins around twice.
That he doesn't want to do this shit again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I mean, literally, I want to hear his neck break and then it spin around one more time before it snaps back.
Who was that Buddy's face? Like, oh, if you did a combination of Buddy's face that got knocked out in UFC and then Buddy's leg that got broken, you take both of those snaps and put it together, that can happen to Logan Paul.
I'm just saying, in a society that hates white privilege, why in God's good name are we giving this small-dicked loser, rapist fucking Logan Paul? I don't understand that. If you've never seen Terrence Crawford fight, you're doing yourself a disservice. This guy's got the science. I mean, he's a fucking amazing boxer. You want to watch good boxing? There's plenty of it. Google Chocolito. You want to watch Lomachenko? Lomachenko, you know what he said? You know why nobody could beat me? Because in my head, I hear a song. He's like, my moves are choreographed to a beat you can't hear.
That's
that
dope.
Dude's fucking fighting on a whole other. He's playing chess, and you're playing like Chinese checkers.
That's
Not even
crazy.
playing the real shit. So get the fuck out of here with this kid. And Mayweather, just go get. I mean, take your fucking money and learn to read. Now's the time. Embrace this opportunity to learn to read. If you know what here's my thing to Floyd Mayweather. All jokes aside. If you really want to prove to people how fucking smart and savvy you are, learn how to read and write a fucking book. Boy, that would get all of us.
And that's the crazy part about it. He doesn't have to know how to write a book or even know how to read. He can hire somebody to write it for him.
That would be
That's
too
the crazy
easy.
part of it.
That would be too easy.
That's the
I would
money.
like to see Floyd Mayweather write a book. No matter how bad it is, I'll even read it.
That would be hilarious. Maybe we could do like live reads when I'll piss you off shortly. Joe reads Mayweather's book. Oh man, but yeah. So hopefully boxing gets better. I remember I fall in and out of boxing, to be honest, right? So like Andrew, or what's the English dude, heavyweight?
You know about Tyson Fury?
Not Tyson Fury. Anthony. Is it Anthony? Joshua. Anthony Joshua, right?
Joshua. Yeah.
So when he was ducking old buddy, that beat black dude, heavyweight. He didn't.
Wilder.
Yeah, when he was ducking Wilder, and I was hoping that like, okay, bet. And then after Wilder beat Ortiz, I was like, bet we are gonna see this fight. And then Joshua was still ducking. So then I was like, here we go with the same BS again, right? Like the same boxing BS. And like I just fell out of it. Like once again, like you have to fight in UFC. Like you have to fight. You can't sit here and dodge and be like, oh well, I'm gonna play again. You know, somebody else. I'm gonna fight somebody. No, you have to fight. Somebody's coming for that title. You can't just go try and keep dodging the smoke. I would have loved to see fucking Wilder beat that dude. But yeah, so. Yeah, Bone quickly. I kind of feel bad because I feel like maybe in the title, because we put Mayweather versus Paul. Bone quickly feels like a really big fighting fan. So like, I feel like we're gonna hurt his feelings in a minute when he realizes that we're not a fighting podcast.
No, well, so listen, so he should know that on Saturdays at 10 a.m. we do throwing jabs and we get into all of that stuff. We just had a really great guest on. Connecticut Boxing Hall of Famer John Iceman Scully. So, yeah, that's where you want to get in on some real good boxing talk. That's where we have it out every week. Yeah, man.
Saturdays, 10 a.m.
A lot of boxers are getting overpaid, man, and there's a lot of great boxers out there that can't quite get their dues. So it's a money business now, is unfortunately what it is. And again, the money's in being an undefeated guy who doesn't take chances or fight anybody good.
Bet. So hopefully he has to use at least half of his money to fix his jaw. Because Mayweather, gets him one good time, and then I would find it worthwhile. I'm definitely not paying for this fight. I'll catch it on like YouTube or like on Twitter or some shit after it happens, and we'll go from there. So yeah. Question for you, and of course like the group. All of the comments. Say you're I don't know how this equates to, I guess, guys. I feel like it might be different for women and men, but what do you think about like men 30 years old plus with a roommate? So this came about because a local celebrity, well, not a local celebrity, but a comedian, actually, Lil Duval, he had tweeted that like pretty much if you're 30 plus with living with a roommate, what are you doing with your life? You need to get yourself together, right? And I found that kind of funny because, one, I love having a roommate, especially in my 20s. Like, that was dope. Like, I built some of my best friendships and shit like that off of my roommates. And then, especially if I wasn't in... I think I even told you at one point, like, me and my roommate, we were like, yo, if we're not in certain relationships or like in like committed relationships by a certain time, we actually were thinking about buying a house together. Just because we were like, yo, we're sick of renting. We can at least buy the house, live in the house, and then if we get in relationships, we'll sell it or rent it out, and boom, we have a whole situation together, right? He ended up getting into a long-term relationship. We didn't end up buying the house, whatever the case may be. But I said, realistically, what's in society, like, what's wrong with that, right? So, like, I look at it now, 30 years old, being plus 30 now, especially if somebody's doing that to like save money, to buy a house, shit like that. Let's say, depends. Devon says, I literally don't care. These days it's fiscally responsible. And there we go. Right?
Stop the bullshit.
No.
It's easy to say when you're married and
no.
Like, as if that's a possibility. I don't believe Devonna for 1 second would she date a guy right now who's 34 years old with a roommate.
And
bullshit.
That's my question to women out there, especially, right? The ladies. Could you date somebody that was 30 years old, 30 plus with a roommate? I feel like with guys, it would be a little bit more acceptable.
There's a good chance that the reason he's splitting an apartment with his buddy is because he's fucking broke. And what's his credit score? Like a 580. Devon.
No, but bet.
You know.
I'm saying like this. Okay, so we're flipping the terms.
Fair enough. Listen, I take a lot of shit from Devonna, deservedly so, every single time. I gotta call bullshit on you here. I don't believe you. I don't believe it.
So I don't know. Like, I would love to. And maybe this is one of those things when we have her on as a guest, right? We can ask her, or like I wish, because I feel like as a guy or the men would be more open to like, hey, I'm dating somebody, she has a roommate, and you're like, oh, okay, she has a roommate, whatever the case may be. But for a guy, what if he has a credit score over 700? And he's like, yeah, like, I maybe have bought a couple properties, or maybe, like, I'm saving up to buy my first property.
Yeah.
Right? They're living on food stamps. Like, what's wrong with that, though? But that even now, like, you're laughing at it and joking at it, but, like, what if two guys that had perfectly good credit scores were like, we don't feel like buying a house? What, like,
a couple. They are a couple. That is a couple.
They're
telling you they're just roommates, dude. Your buddy's gay.
The question is, can you be 30 plus with a roommate? If I'm not moving in with the roommate, what do I care? I feel you. I feel you. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Aren't you gonna want to go to his house and his roommate's in his underwear eating Cheetos on the PS4? What?
That is, that's like some young 20-year-old shit. Like, I would hope to believe at 30 years old, like, there's maturity. Joe, you're showing your age. He is. Joe is really showing his age. I feel like grown 30-year-olds would like have the maturity. Even when I was young, middle 20s, and I had a roommate. Me and Chris, we understood like, and we had 2 bathrooms. That's the thing. You have to have 2 bathrooms.
Hold on a minute.
Middle 20s.
20s is one thing. We're talking about 30 plus.
But
So
what's wrong?
Clearly, at some
Single.
point you were living with a woman, and she
Okay.
booted your ass out. And the best you could do on the shit salary you're making is a room with your buddy, and that's fine.
But you just said they're a couple. You
Slow
can't
down.
say that's fine, and then you say, "Oh
Slow
no,
down.
that's a couple."
Let me explain. No, what you said was 2 guys with a 700 credit score who were planning to buy a home. And you made it sound like maybe different homes, but I'm saying in that case,
different homes.
I think they're buying one home together, and they're going to go in, they're going to decorate at Bed Bath & Beyond, and that's great. That's really great.
And then what if they do that and then flip the house, and now they're just
My
like, "Yeah,
point
we."
is, if you're 34 and you're living with a roommate, there's a good chance that you either both got dumped at the same time, and this just made the most sense, or his wife left him and your wife left her, and so now again you're roommates. You're not living with another dude in your 30s because shit's going great. I would say, now to be fair, is it possible? Once or twice out of a fucking million, but I doubt it. If you're living with someone at 30 and you're not romantically involved with that person, I think shit's gone off the rails a lot. Yeah.
All right. I guess. Yeah.
Interesting.
This
I want
is
to know
interesting.
how old
Like-
he is. And then also, I mean, I'm not going to ask Devonna her age, but
She's
again,
younger than
I
me.
think, okay, got it. All right. Again, I'm just trying to get a sense of, I mean, am I an idiot here? Am I way off the beaten path? All right, Devonna, solid point. Better than living with his mom at 30 plus. That is true. But I think my point's still the same. If he's living with his mom at 34 or he's living with his buddy at 38, it's because shit's not going well. It's not because he's this guy's just been saving money for years.
Do we know that there's like literally in cultures that they're like kids, well, people don't leave their homes until like 30 plus? Like their family homes until 30 plus?
Where's this? Who told you that?
Middle Eastern cultures.
Yeah.
No, seriously. You talk to Middle Eastern cultures, you talk to Asian cultures. I don't want to get like I'm sure if I go ahead and ask a couple of my people and like, hey, what's your heritage? Because I don't want to misquote. And literally, so like matter of fact, I have an Indian
not
friend.
Mom, it's roommate. We're talking roommates.
No.
Plus 30.
No, here we go. Indian friend. Indian. When I say Indian, not fucking what colonizers call fucking Indians and shit like this. Middle Eastern Indian, right? Like from India. His family, his heritage is from India, right? I'm 34. He's 2 years. So he just turned 32. He left his house 2019. His family house 2019 because that's when he was like, yeah, I decided to buy a house. And then guess what happened? He went to go buy a house. He was looking for a house. He thought he had a house. COVID came around. Guess what? He's still back living at home. He's just about to leave out again. But he said, yeah, I literally stayed at home. My parents stayed with my parents, stayed this and the third. He was like, my sister's a couple years old. I think his sister's like 27, 28, something like high 20s now. And she still lives at home. But he is set. He is set. Like, he was able to save so much. His credit score is fire. Like, fucking set. I think literally it's turned into an Americanized way to, like, at the age of 18, you have to be out. You have to be, you know what I mean, situated by age a certain time. Like, by 25, you have to be established and all that other bullshit. By 30, oh, you better have a family and be ready. Like, I think that's low-key bullshit of society. Like, low-key bullshit. Like, I would rather, and especially this is probably growing up in a house full of fucking 5 kids, right? Or 5 siblings. And I didn't even have to, I was a lucky one because, and when you look at it in that sense, because I was raised by my aunt by myself, right? So they had to endure a lot more of it worse than I did because I only had to deal with it on the weekends and like during holidays. And then my last year, year and a half of fucking being in high school. But even in that aspect, like, especially for the boys and my dad's mindset, he was like, once y'all are 18, y'all better figure the fuck out. Get out. You know what I mean? But I'm like, imagine if we were able to just live, you know what I mean, live respectfully within our own households, make it work or whatever the case may be, we'd be well off a lot better than we were, you know what I mean, we are now. And then you look at these different cultures that literally aren't rushing to kick their kids out. That are like, no, please stay home until you're ready to go out into this world and be prepared. Like, I think that's the bigger idea right there. JC says, yeah, Greeks don't leave home until they're married traditionally. Devonna says, I know a lot of friends who are over 30 that rather spend money on anything other than rent. It's definitely an American thing. Like, I would rather, especially now, right? I would rather my son, even as he gets like go through life, say he turns 22 and he's started his own little business and his business is going, and this is not out of the ordinary now, especially this day and age, right? 22 making six figures. Still don't go nowhere. Like, I mean, if you want to, by all means, but I'm not kicking you out anywhere. Make your money, go travel, go experience life, and then when you turn 30, 35, whatever the case may be, but between 30, 35, if you want to find somebody at that point and then settle down and make a family, dope. You know what I mean? Like, it's really a fucked up way in society now that we're like so focused on like when kids turn 18 to 21, 22, or even like 25, like we have to get our own place, we have to do this, you know what I'm saying? What about the independence you learn when you move out and live on your own? I don't want to learn those traits in my 30s. I'm not bringing my stripper girlfriend home to my roommate. Privacy is important. Man, I used to bring my stripper girlfriend home to my roommate all the time. And it was a kudos, and that was my mid-20s though. But even then, like, you would still learn independency and stuff like.
Where the fuck do we live? We live in America. Of course, it's an American thing.
It's a stupid American thing. Just because it's an American thing doesn't mean it's right. It's fucking dumb.
The reason why Greeks stay home is because they can't find a mate. Isn't that the whole point of that movie? Is how socially awkward and unattractive they are, so they get married later in life.
I don't know.
I stand by what I said. I still think more often than not, if you find yourself in your 30s living with another person, chances are.
But to the point, why should you have to?
Great.
Exactly, but chances, like, yes, I agree. I would agree with you, right?
Yeah.
Shit, I might almost be in that damn situation, to keep it honest. But even at that point, like, shit is so fucking expensive, especially in New England. Like, when you get into, like, the tri-state area, shit is expensive. So, like, imagine being maybe a high school teacher or a school teacher in New York City. You're not getting paid shit. And if you're 30-year-olds and you're a teacher, like, I definitely would probably have a roommate. Especially if I'm single. The fuck am I going to pay for a one place skyrocket prices when I can split this shit in half? I think there's a lot of other different factors that I think a lot of people don't really even think about.
But, yeah, Rob, listen, just so we're all on the same page. I mean, if my wife were to kick me out, I mean, I would be like, Rob, you want to get like a place and we could like fucking chill, dude? It'll be awesome.
And I would have no problem with that.
And it totally would be awesome, but I think you'd agree if, say, a month from now, you and I are living together, it's because things aren't going great for either fucking one of us. Now, would you and I be fucking blazing and fucking banging on the yeah, all fucking day when we're not working and doing the podcasting and shit. Be fucking awesome. But, again, if one of us were to meet a chick that night, the other guy would be like, all right, you got to go somewhere. And you're like, I have nowhere to go.
What do you mean? You have a room. Yeah. You have a whole, like you have like a whole, like your one bedroom apartment with whatever. Like you have a whole living room. Like we would definitely have a space where we could not see each other for a little bit. Smoking that quick. All right. I saw yeah, to answer your question, Sketchy, yeah. If I were single, and no children, like would I have a roommate? Yeah, bet. So bang, right? So I am
in my entire life. Can I just tell you something? Yeah. I've lived with another dude one time for 1 year, and it was a fucking disaster. Jeez. And I would never do it again.
See, I've had...
That motherfucker stole all my socks. He started dressing like me and shit. It got a little bit weird.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. That can get weird. I got you.
Yeah. That's the only time I was... How old was I? 22. It's the only time I've ever lived with another dude.
See, but you have brothers. You never had to, like...
But, so wait. It was weird and shit, but Did we fucking get shit-faced every single day? Yeah. Did we have seasons worth of Madden and NHL and yeah? Oh my God! Fucking listening to music. I mean, it was great. I remember in the summertime we put an air conditioner in, and then when the summer ended, we had to take the air conditioner out of the window. I remember opening the window while he held with his, and the thing went right out the window. Oh yeah.
See, look at the great stories.
Great. I had a great time. But I was between girlfriends and jobs and careers, and so it made sense. Because otherwise, it was a shit show.
Got you. I mean, I think I would say
most of it,
since you
shit show.
I would definitely say since you had a roommate, things have definitely changed. I mean, definitely because I was in the military, I definitely had quite a handful of roommates. But once again, it just made sense. It didn't make sense, like, to spend all this money on a 1-bedroom apartment when I could spend a lot less and be good, right? Definitely one of my roommates definitely would never roommate with, like, if it came down to him being the last roommate in the world, like, and I had to, I would just probably off myself. But outside of that, amazing roommates, amazing stories, the good, the bad, the personal. Oh, jeez, yeah, it gets crazy. It gets interesting when you have a roommate. And like the things that you learn about each other, yeah, it's wild. Rob and Joe's crib would be full of cannabis, kegs, and White Claw, shitty Yankees and Steelers gear, pictures at PlayStation 2 and boombox. That is hilarious. You know, I see that.
It's welcome a PlayStation 3, you dick.
Exactly.
Give me a little bit of credit, but definitely I do have a boombox, and it is.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's to the T, like to the T. So what I remember,
I can see it in my head, dude. I got it totally pictured right now.
I see it right now, right? And then probably with our chairs that, like, we can just turn around with and go from, like, recording to just bullshit, and, you know what I mean, that kind of setup. Just getting there fat and just, keg bellies all day. So I remember one of the best setups when I had a roommate was our refrigerator. Like, you could tell it was the bachelor pad, and this was, like, one of my true first roommates, right? So we both love fried chicken, and so it would literally, we would go to the store. We would get the wingettes, the drumettes, and we would get it just by a bunch of it. So in there you would have Hot Pockets, frozen drumettes, the frozen French fries, and then like ice creams. The snow cone, like not the snow cones, but the chocolate cones with the waffle cone. Boxes of that shit. That's all in the refrigerator, in the freezer, right? Refrigerator. There was bacon. There was milk, Sprite. He had like some beers and shit like that, and that was it. And maybe like some Chinese food, because we ordered like Chinese food like twice a week. So some leftover Chinese food. I still to this day envy that refrigerator, because like I felt like that was the envy, like an embodiment of like the bachelor pad refrigerator. Like there was nothing else ever in there. Oh, Domino's boxes. Because we, like, order Domino's all the time. Fucking, like, a bunch of Army dudes order Domino's all the time for lunch and never really... I was probably in, like, the best physical shape of my life. Eating Domino's every lunch. But yeah. Good old days. JT said like that's bias. How much he loved fried chicken, too, though? Oh, he did. Like, we bought 2 fryers. That's how much we love fried chicken. Because we were, like... The little fryer that we had, it wasn't frying enough, and then like it wasn't frying it like the way we wanted it. So we literally went to Walmart. We used that fryer, and this is of course in the days of the 24-hour Walmart, right? We used that fryer. The fryer came out banging. We literally went after we cleaned up that night. We went back to Walmart to go get another fryer, so we had 2 fryers. So literally we would run 2 chicken fryers. We would run chicken on each. We tried to do like 1 chicken, 1 fry. It didn't work out that way. We had to do the chicken first and then the fries. Best setup. The chicken was fire. I would definitely do a chicken cutoff. Yo, KFC is disgusting. So like KFC's nasty. Popeyes up here is disgusting. Up north, I don't know where you're from, but like Popeyes down south is way better. You go to Church's Chicken only for the biscuits. Zaxby's to me is better than Popeye. Well, you know what? I lied. I don't know. I don't know if Zaxby's is better than Popeyes. But I think I'm missing another chicken spot outside of like, you know, exclusive or like I don't want to say luxury, but like one-off chicken spots like Chicken and Waffles and shit like that. Sketchy says my roommates and I were friends with the Red Bull promotion girls back in the day. Oh, y'all were lit. They would drop off cases of Red Bulls on the regular. We had a separate fridge for the Red Bulls only. Popeyes all day. All right. Yo, so Popeyes, Popeyes has, well, down south, they had the spicy chicken breakfast sandwich. So it was a spicy chicken strip with the egg and cheese. Oh my God, I used to bang that shit on a biscuit. Which is better? Which is the best chicken place? Los Pollos Hermanos. Yeah, if I wanted that real good chicken, that real good chicken with a little extra on it.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and pay some more bills. I don't know. We'll show some CMG love today. It's a CMG day.
What do you? Is that
I don't know.
Whatevs. I don't know what.
Yeah. We'll just play whatevs. I was trying to think of something off the top of my. You know, throwing jabs. Bang. How about that? For our guy Quay. Does that work?
Oh, geez, Rob. I don't
on
know
the
why
spot. I'm sorry. I should have put it in there.
You know,
I'm getting
I'll tell you what. Yeah.
No. Okay. Throw something else on.
It.
Okay. Just. You want me to do it? Throw it on?
No, I got one. I got.
Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Can you believe it?
It hasn't happened at Fenway Park for 95 years.
Fires. Swing and a miss. Strike three. It's over. The Red Sox have won the world championship.
Tune in to the newest show presented by Clovercrest Media. It's Obie's Backstop Podcast. Catch it twice a week, every Red Sox series finale on your favorite podcast platform.
Nah, so I was gonna throw a podcast out there, but then I forgot that me and that person are still beefing. So yeah.
Oh, really? You guys are still beefing?
Yeah, we're still beefing. That. We're like silently beefing. So like until she apologizes, she gonna get no love. But still go check out Clovercrest Media Group. Have you played pool or beer pong before? Yeah, I'm 34. I used to play beer pong a little bit, play pool. So my in our garage growing up, my dad had a pool table in the garage. And I used to think I was nice until like he would run me and all his like all my uncles and shit would run me. But that's who I learned from, so that was the best part. But my little brother, I give my little brother, he's nicer than me at pool. I'm decent. I was never like the pool hustler or shit like that. I could always like keep my own. Joe Garage, National Football Champion, 92, 93, 96. Yo, Sketchy, I bet you won't update on his Wikipedia page. Like, I think that's definitely like something that you should definitely like. We should get updated on Joe's Wikipedia page. I don't know, but yo, so like, I totally realized that first and foremost, we're started an hour early, so I was like, yeah, definitely gonna keep it like under 2, and then I was like, damn, that's like 10, and like 10 is almost here. So like, I'm gonna leave it up to the people. Like, we can make this a 3-hour episode, and I can go through this, or like we can go ahead and like hit some keywords because I want to have some fun as well. And I don't want to keep this late because I know people in the comments are like, yo, I want to listen to the whole 3 hours, but it's hard. So I'm trying to keep us at a 2-hour cap. I know we talked about Mayweather, this and the third. I low-key wanted to talk about, we're going to talk about unemployment shit, but then I really don't want to talk about like the society's issues right now because I have a whole nother kind of view on that right now because I feel like it's kind of bullshit. The numbers are bullshit. You were about to say something.
I don't know if you've seen, but several states, and you could guess the ones, they're all Republican states. They're slowly but surely kicking people off unemployment.
Which is good at this point.
It's not. Here's
Joe.
Listen, hold up.
Everybody's hiring.
Hold up. That's great.
Everybody's hiring. It seemed like.
Here's the thing about the pandemic. It's not over, we're not even fucking close to 75% herd. You're not even close to that yet. We are not even close yet. And I know everybody wants to put their guard down and let's go get them and shit. Again, you didn't lock me up in my house for a year, like surviving on scraps to kick my shit out with like 6 weeks to go. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Nope, I want my money. I want you to fucking pay me till the summertime until Dr. Fauci's like, herd immunity. I want my fucking money. That's the fucking deal we made, government. Pay me, bitch.
Damn,
Pay me.
I'm feeling stupid for getting a job. I'm feeling dumb. I should have never got a job.
You shouldn't have got a job. That's ridiculous. And it makes more sense to stay at home. Yeah, it fucking does. It's a pandemic.
You know
what? I'm sorry. Here's the thing. If employers were that crazy about bringing people back, I'll go out. Here's a thought for business. You could incentivize people to come back to work by paying better wages.
I was just about to say, now the wage increase happens, but now everything gets more expensive, and that's where the inflation comes from, and then that's where the economy starts getting shitty. But yeah, I think this is going to have some kind of blowback. Like, now, you know what I mean? Like, and I get it, a lot of the restaurants and shit like that, those are going to be hit the worst, because you were getting shitty money. Shitty money.
Not for nothing.
So why would I want to go back to that period, especially now when I can do some side hustle shit and make the same thing at least?
Most restaurants hire shitty people who just bounce from restaurant to restaurant to restaurant because they know they get hired. And they're not worth the money, and you don't want to pay them shit, and you expect these miserable fucks to live on tips when they're not very social people. It's a recipe for, making $2 an hour and like just not making enough in tips to make it make sense. It's unfortunate, but again, I see all these fucking businesses. Man, people want to stay on their ass. There's still a fucking pandemic happening. So until it's over, or again, until you want to incentivize, you want to make it worth my while. What's it worth to me to go give COVID a shot? Like, okay.
There you go.
It's as simple as that. But here's the thing. Even beyond COVID, this should be a wake-up call to business. If you want employees who will be dedicated to you and more happy to work than not, you got to fucking pay them. You got to pay them. Otherwise, you end up with garbage. So, there you go.
So what happens now, right? Nobody, well, eventually they're going to cut everybody off of unemployment, right? They can't. Do we think that another stimulus is going to happen? Two, like, if it happens, like, what happens after that stimulus
There's
happens,
more
right?
stimulus money hitting in July.
And so bet more stimulus money in July. So now that boosts the stimulus till December? Do we think that now, like, a holiday season, like, is gonna be like you know what I mean? Like, especially a season where everybody, that's what the whole nation's counting on, right? A big holiday season. If you boost the economy in July, especially now, like, you're going into July, right? You start going into a dead season. I mean, like, people aren't hiring, aren't getting jobs. Like, it's I don't know. It seems like an effed up situation. It seems like I don't know. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm not against anybody that's like sitting, like, that's on unemployment. Like, I'm jealous, to be honest, because I'm sitting here fucking struggling for nothing, trying to hopefully get a job somewhere else, right? But, like, it sucks, and I agree. Like, I saw Devonna said, if you can't afford to pay livable wages, you shouldn't be in business. But that literally dwindles. That cuts drastically how many jobs are available. Like, realistically, even our minimum wage is not, minimum wage is not a livable wage. It's not. It's bullshit, right? But then, of course, all they're going to do is they say, all right, well, livable wage is $20 an hour. Everything just gets inflated up, spiked the fuck up, because what happens? Everybody still needs their money.
Didn't we already have this conversation a few weeks ago? That is
I definitely don't remember.
1,000,000% misnomer. Because, right, the argument is if you start paying McDonald's workers $15 an hour, they're going to have to start charging $7 for Big Macs, right? But no reasonable human being would ever pay $7 for a Big Mac. So,
Joe, have you seen how much a Big Mac costs? You cannot buy anything. You cannot get a meal from McDonald's, a regular medium meal, for anywhere like under $8.
A meal or a burger?
A burger, a burger's gonna cost you $5 off rip. $5-6 off rip, just the burger alone.
And they haven't even raised the minimum wage. So do you see the bullshit there? They've been raising the
And that's what I'm saying. They're gonna keep raising the price.
Slow down.
They're gonna raise it up.
I remember when I was a kid. No, but Rob, that's nothing to do with the wages. It's got they're not paying any more money now. When I was a kid, they used to fucking charge 49 cents for a cheeseburger.
But that's the mind of the business. The business is going to make it seem that way because now they're called. You know what I mean? They're going to have.
Of course they are.
So that's what they're going to do.
But sure, but the fact that people feed into that bullshit that, well, if we start paying people a livable wage, all the prices go up. Bullshit. That's not how it works.
That's how it works because that's what the businesses do. You think that they're not going to throw that cost on other things?
Rob,
Joe, they do it with everything else.
If they could sell a cheeseburger for 49 cents, it's worth 49 cents.
Joe, they were selling the cheeseburger for 49 cents in 1980s. Right. This is 2020, Joe. Where can you get a cheeseburger for 49 cents?
How much more do you think it takes? How much more do you think it takes to make a cheeseburger?
It doesn't cost any more money than it did probably in 1990, right? But what I'm saying is the CEOs are greedy. These big corporations are greedy, so they're going to throw that cost on top.
You're allowing the misnomer to be that there's a direct correlation between the minimum wage and actual production value, because that's bullshit.
There is when they have control over it.
But Rob,
we already know the game. They do.
They don't. Because,
Joe,
listen,
so why is a Big Mac meal $8.99?
I don't know. I've never had a Big Mac.
So you think that they're going to keep their prices the same and pay out more?
Rob, how much more do you think they could charge before you're like, I can't afford to go to McDonald's? It's like going to more.
People are going to pay.
People are not going to pay because they can't afford it. You know how many people I know that stop smoking cigarettes because they're just too fucking expensive?
People stopped smoking cigarettes because it stopped. People stopped smoking cigarettes because it became inconvenient to smoke places, and society started looking at cigarettes like ill. Everybody's out here vaping. But people kids sit here and spend how much money on a pod? People spend more money on a pod. So that's not even a relevant argument. Not to say relevant, but that's not even a valid argument. It don't take much skills to flip a burger and make one. Exactly. They get the orders all the way wrong. But we will pay them $15, $19, or $15.
Don't pay them $15, and they're already jacking the price up. So again, you're falling for that bullshit notion,
Joe,
that raising the wages has anything to do with the price of fucking.
So you think they're gonna lose money? You think they're gonna lose money paying out more money?
They're gonna lose money if they increase what people are making.
Okay. You think they're gonna take away from their profits? You're gonna think they're gonna take away from their profits that pay more?
I don't know that they have a choice.
You show me the first business that doesn't.
You're willing to pay $10 for a Big Mac? I mean, that Big Mac better lick your balls at the end. What?
Joe,
dude, when I go to McDonald's,
Burger King lines are packed. McDonald's lines are packed.
I get 2 McDoubles. They're $4, and I'm fucking out the door with a Coke for $1, $5, eating like a king. That's my McDonald's experience. If you're spending like $9 on the fries and a drink and a Big Mac, you're a sucker. You're getting suckered by McDonald's. That's sad.
I don't even go to McDonald's. I know all of my coworkers that have been going, they go but listen to me. No, I'm saying everybody that I see that go on and off a break, especially before the McDonald's got time to rebuild, torn down and get rebuilt, right? They always went to McDonald's. Everybody had a meal. Everybody had a sandwich, a fry, and a drink. Sandwich, fry, and a drink. You look at that menu at McDonald's. The only time I went to McDonald's was to go get my Shamrock Shake. Hell, that Shamrock Shake cost me damn near fucking $5 and change. So you can't tell me that if McDonald's, if people are getting paid more money, that the price of the McDonald's is gonna stay the same.
If that Big Mac meal was $4, they would sell 3 times as many of them because people are stupid and don't know that 4 and 4 is 8.
Joe, people go to fucking Olive Garden thinking that they're getting a fucking deal with fucking bread and salad. Like, people are gonna go, and like Olive Garden isn't real Italian food, but they walk out of there with fucking $175 fucking bills because they're paying. People go to restaurants and pay triple for a bottle of wine.
I don't do that.
You don't do it, but there's people. I promise you, Danielle worked at a restaurant. One of the best ways. She was selling bottles of wine at 5 times the cost. On a daily. So you can't tell me that people aren't willing to pay, especially if they're getting $15 an hour now.
It's not Italians, Devonna. That's who's not paying that at the Olive Garden.
I'll tell you who's paying it, but they ain't gonna like me. I'll piss them off shortly if I tell you who's paying it. It's all these... Stimmy splurges. Robert didn't receive a stimmy all fucking... I haven't received a stimmy.
All right. Slow down.
So I can't even have splurges.
Can we talk about the stimmy shit for a second? This what is it called? The stimmy splurge? I don't know if people understand what these payments are. It's a stimulus check. Do you know what you're supposed to do with your stimulus check? They really didn't want you to like pay your rent with that, and they really didn't want you to take it and put it in your rainy day fund. The idea of the stimulus check is for you to take it and stimulate the economy. So they want you to go to the Red Lobster, and they want you to go to McDonald's 46 times with that kind of money. You could do a lot of damage there still. But they
went to Tulum and New Mexico and all that other shit.
The idea is to spend. That's what they want you to do with that money.
So, I mean, they definitely did it. They definitely spent. America spent. Spent, some saved, and some are still spending. And once this next stimmy hit, they're going to be spending some more. That's what America's good for, spending. When you're here, you're feeling me. Can I get the discount? So that's crazy. So talking, we're going to stay on this too much longer. But just talking within the international deals that I've been dealing with, right, and the people that I've been dealing with, that's one of the conversations that comes. They say, I speak to them, and they're like, yo, Americans spend too much money. They're like, yo, we don't, none of the countries or even the people that I deal with, they're like, we don't have half the things that Americans buy. Like, it seems like, and from their view to us, like, it seems like we're just rich. And of course, like, we know Americans really aren't, like, especially between Instagram and everything is like a lifestyle and shit like that. Hell, I'm selling into a lifestyle now. And I'm loving it. And even in my business now, my small little side hustle, right? It's crazy the mentality of like many different, like all ethnic groups, all backgrounds, all races, religion, shit like that. When I say that, like they're willing to spend the amount of money on certain objects or materials or things that like, I'm like, holy shit. It blows my mind. Even working at my job, the things that I see people spend money on, and I'm like, you're spending $800 on this item, and it doesn't even seem like it was probably worth $20 to make it. So, and I'm not judging because I definitely was young and dumb and blowing a lot of money on a lot of useless shit. Sketchy says, my 1200 was stimulated on lap dances, champagne room experiences, and other activities. See, you stimulated the economy. Also, it was stimulating your mental, and your physical. I can't disclose on YouTube at any local strip club. 40% of Americans don't have 500 for an emergency. That's very true.
That's sad. That's a true statement, and it's not right, man. Again, I mean, listen. Here's the problem that we in trying to understand just business in general, right? Business year end to year end. I mean, right? If I make like $1 million this year, right? Rather than say next year I'm going to make $1 million again, next year I'm like I got to make 10, and anything less than that's like a deficit, and it's like, well, is it though? Because really, anything over $1 million, you're like already doing better. So. I don't buy into that bullshit. Again, I'm a person who in my own business, I mean, I spend it to make it. If you're not investing in your product and you're not investing in your talent, what do you have? I like growing that way. I could put on I mean, you know how many podcasts I've turned down for this company? Do you know how many people have come to me and they're like, hey, can I be on your network? And I listen to their podcast and I'm like, no, I'm not interested. It's not good. And I don't want shitty podcasts. I could have 100 podcasts on this network. I'm really happy with the 38 that we have right now. It's not about that. It's about, to me, it's about quality.
Quality. There you go.
If you have quality and you're willing to invest in that, to maintain that, that's how you win in the long run. If you're looking for short-term bullshit gains, that's a whole different topic.
Hey. Well, you only get quality here at Clovercrest, a CMG family. And then, hey, matter of fact,
that's how good we are.
I was about to say,
that's bags of Doritos.
That's a testimony right there that you can literally eat a bag of Doritos, that in tune to our arguments on, shit, now that I forgot what we were arguing about for a second. What were we hot and heavy on?
All I know is that it was
the best
by Bonquequi, the best argument ever. And I hope, is that his name? Do you know this guy? Is he a buddy?
I don't. I appreciate you, but like I said, I believe Bonquequi stumbled.
Right.
Yeah, same. Like, it's Quiqui or Quay, but appreciate you following us, and so everybody, make sure you guys are giving us a like, a follow, share, because I promise you, obviously this argument was a great argument. This was a great, entertaining conversation. We're talking about can McDonald's survive off of a $15? Can the economy survive? This is a great conversation, but solid 2 hours of content. Only here, right? Anytime you're laughing, I know that we have a good one. Y'all arguing over Big Macs. There we go.
For anybody, and you and I get some bullshit on the other show, on Divided We Stand, the political show, where people are like, you and Rob always agree on everything. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We don't even agree on fucking Big Macs. That's where we're at. That is where we're at.
I know where you can catch us at every Monday night. Is right here, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I believe we are on, we might be on Twitch too. I don't know. We're all over the place with Clovercrest Media. But I appreciate you guys following there. My final words. Texas, you know what? I did want Texas gun laws.
You're really confusing me right now. I don't know.
I'm all over the place.
What are you trying to do?
I was going to go into final words. Then I remember seeing Texas gun laws on the script, but we're not going to do that.
I don't know.
We're going to do that next
helps.
week.
Does that help?
Rob Quiqui. Really? That's interesting.
That made it more confusing for me.
Same here, because guess what? I've met with that. If this is true, that would be my fourth Rob that I met today. Like, I don't know, like 4 Robs. So that's why I was kind of like, holy shit, this is weird.
Is his name Rob Bonquequi? I guess that's my question now. I'm confused.
That's interesting. So, you know what? That's a good sign. I'm not going to bring up Texas gun laws because I kind of want to do a little bit more research into it. It was something about it today that I was going to bring up, but I'm not going to today. And then there was a story of a man named Liddell Lee that I heard about today. That new DNA exonerated him.
Saw that.
So yeah, I didn't get a chance to really dig into his story, but I might try and slip that in tomorrow on Divided We Stand tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
Can I just give one thought on that? I'll tell you this, just again to tell you a little something about me.
Mm-hmm.
I am okay with the death penalty where warranted, and only when you have, to me, clear and compelling evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. I think the standard for a death penalty case should be higher, because I got to tell you, my wife has a buck. She studied constitutional law while she was at Cornell. I'm just like name dropping now. It's a joke. But yeah, dude, way too many people have been put to death, let alone falsely imprisoned for a really long time. Like, that's unacceptable to me. Like I say, again, not to sound like I'm being controversial, but for the All Lives Matter crowd, I've said this a million times now, Rob. Cops killing anybody unarmed is horseshit. You shouldn't be okay with that. and someone being put to death, and then later on you're like, oh fuck, it wasn't him. It was the guy down the street that kind of looks like him. That's unacceptable. I can't. Again, I have a really high standard when it comes to law enforcement in this country, and when it comes to what's acceptable in courts and with trials. I mean, honestly, that is so upsetting. That I not only was this guy executed, but he got to spend the majority of his life in jail for some shit he didn't even do.
Maintaining his innocence. Like, on an emotional sense, I said, man, imagine just knowing every day that you're like closer and closer to your execution and you just didn't do this. And that's why, like, I don't trust the judicial system. I don't, like, a lot of that is jacked up, and you can't make this right. You can't bring him back. You can't, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure this person is still living. I mean, no, this person is, well, the person that actually committed the murder is still living. So, like, what happens then, right? Do you try this person now and, you know, get them charged and shit like that, or press charges against this person? So, but I did, the reason why I did want to pass these on to next week, there was actually three, Liddell Lee, the new Texas gun law, and then Ma'Khia Bryant. I wanted to touch on her again because actually my sister passed on a nice article kind of explaining just Ma'Khia's story. So I didn't get a chance, and I'm not even gonna lie, between Wednesday and now, you know, today, because we kind of had like a short week between our episodes. I didn't get a chance to really dive into those articles and give it a good, you know, read through. So I owe you guys that for next week, because, you know, especially I'll pitch you off shortly. We do a lot of joking. We do, you know, I mean, we do have some, you know, some humor and, you know, sarcasm, but especially with these kind of like conversations, I like to present facts and well thought out, opinionated, you know, give well thought out opinions.
Yeah, this isn't Big Macs. This
exactly,
this is some life and death shit, and it's a serious topic. And yeah, I mean, we should definitely. I mean, because again, I mean, I think you know how I feel about Ma'Khia Bryant, and I didn't like anything about that scene or that cop's reaction. Again, listen, if you're a police officer and you shoot somebody by accident, say you're fucking sorry.
Exactly.
Start there, be like, oh my God, I fucked up. Yeah. Just give us something so that we know that you're not just like mowing people down in the streets for fun. Because it feels that way sometimes, and that's not a good feeling.
Not at all. Not at all. So definitely want to give those three topics good comb through next week. I'll probably lead with those, so that way we're not just putting those in the back burner. We'll lead with those next three next week. But yeah, as far as final words, I did want to talk about that, because I figured that they would be kind of like good closing questions, or like kind of like thought provoking questions. And a lot of these were just, well, I'm going to say a lot of these. All these were kind of like memes that I saw. So, like, a lot of times when you ever just go scrolling through something and you'd be like...
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think sometimes shit just, like, you see a meme and you know what's funny? I laugh sometimes when people post a meme.
Yep.
Right? And then sometimes people are like, I posted this for me, not for comments. And it's like, something about that struck you and you felt like it hit home for you, and you're just trying to... You're like, this kind of captures my thoughts, and you share it. That's what I like about memes.
Exactly. I don't know whoever came up with memes. You're a fucking genius in the history. But yeah, people are brilliant with these things. Like, and just so quick how they come up with them, like the wittiness and the quickness with the memes. So there's one that says, you get paid $1 million a year to live here with unlimited drinks, but you have to live with your second act. I'm gonna take away the second act part, and I was just gonna say insert you and I, which is like perfectly, you know, kind of in line with what our roommate or like situation would be. So like, imagine if we had to live here. We got paid, somebody paid us $1 million, $1 million deal to record I'll Pitch You Out Shortly from this location. Unlimited drinks, maybe even like unlimited White Claws and like Bud for us.
I'm confused. What's the penalty for this? Where's isn't there supposed to be is it haunted?
Maybe like the hurricane season is bad. So maybe for like 2 weeks you got to deal with a crazy hurricane. I don't know. I don't know what the bad penalty is for it, but maybe it was like the you know, if you don't take away the ad, but like maybe you get added with like your ex. I don't know. Like, would you stay there with your ex outside of me? Because obviously that's a yes. Like, we would definitely do shoot
If
there.
somebody paid me $1 million to live there with unlimited drinks, I would bring whoever the fuck you want me to bring. What could possibly go wrong there? There looks like there's plenty of room. I can avoid a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. Oh man! So we were on the boxing, and then there was a meme that I saw with Conor McGregor and the dude that got his head knocked the fuck off in UFC, and then some other dude who I assume just got beat the fuck up. And they said that this meme was the robe curse, the curse of the robe. So I guess everybody that was in the robe got like beat up. So I was hoping that we would be able to find a picture of like Logan Paul in a robe and kind of like throw him up there, you know, or maybe that would be a good prediction. So if anybody knows of like there's a picture of like Logan Paul in like a black robe, maybe a Versace robe, that might give us some kind of like thoughts as of like maybe he might win or lose the fight.
I mean, I'm like still like in shock by this. Is that real?
I don't know. With memes, you never know. I'm assuming that is. Let's go with it's real. Maybe Queen might know. 3 gypsies lose all the same season. So okay, see, bet yeah, they all wear gypsy robes.
Like Jorge Masvidal's my dude, man. That's my guy right there.
So that's the dude on the right.
No, the dude in the middle, who got blasted out by
Kamaru
Usman.
Knocked his face the next week.
Do you know? I don't know if you know. I mean, Masvidal, that was his 50th professional fight. He had never been knocked out, and you must know who. Oh Jesus Christ, Kimbo Slice.
Yeah. Oh, he's the one. Yeah.
This dude, Masvidal, one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. He used to fight in Kimbo's backyard when he was a kid and beat motherfuckers down.
Jeez.
And he still does it in the UFC. And it was great because he's one of the like biggest shit talkers, and he lost to Usman twice, got knocked the fuck out. And after the fight, I love this from Georgie. He said, "Usman's got my number."
Oh, jeez, ready to go again. That's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. I think Devonna might like this one. And I think this might be true. When my husband says, "Let me check with my wife," he's telling y'all no. He's just putting the blame on me. I saw that one and I felt that was so true. Because usually if no, that's the Bill Gates one.
But
that damn Bill Gates.
These
anyway,
are hard to see. Is this it?
No, that one says congratulations to all the fathers.
God.
There we go.
All right.
When my husband says, "Let me check with my wife," he's telling y'all no. He's just putting the blame on me. I'm telling you, I feel like that's so true because I feel like I've done that before. Like, especially when I didn't want to go somewhere. Let me check with Danielle. Let me see if I want to go. And then, yep. Just like, yeah, nah. She said nah.
I hate to say this. Usually, though, when I say let me check with my wife,
it's true, though.
Literally begging me asking her permission to go out. And it really does. But, like, my boys are like, hey, ask Jess if you can go golfing tomorrow and shit. Like, they know. They get it. But yeah, I mean, I've certainly used her as an excuse. God, dude, I really wanted to like go hiking with you, Rob, but Jess says I can't leave the house today. I'm really sorry. You know, it's not the hiking.
No, I just don't want to go. I feel you. I feel you. Well, there was one more. It was the Bill Gates one, but I think only I was going to be laughing at that one. It was Bill Gates using Googling vaccinated single women in my area. Really funny. And I cracked up laughing when I saw that. Bill Gates is Googling vaccinated single women in my area. And then
that is hilarious.
All the women showing that they have where their vaccination was heard. But yeah, so other than that was my final words. Kind of lead out. I appreciate everybody's effort today. Y'all really killed in the comments. Once again, like, comment, subscribe. Kill those algorithms. What do the kids say nowadays? Smash the like button and all that crazy stuff.
Smash the like button. Yeah. By the way, I found the Jabs promo, so after the intro, I'll hit that. So anybody interested in the fights, stay tuned.
Facts. Well, appreciate you guys checking in on us every Monday night. Once again, you can catch us every Monday night on all social media platforms at I'll Piss You Off Shortly, clovercrestmedia.com/I'll Piss You Off Shortly. And also, if you like tonight's episode, you can catch us tomorrow night at 8 p.m., I believe, Divided We Stand on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all that good jazz, and clovercrestmedia.com. Outside of that, we appreciate you guys sharing tonight with us as always. There was something that I wanted to say. I heard it earlier, but I'll get it right for next weekend. Oh, for all my guys that keep thinking that young women are cute, she's not cute. She's just young. Stop that whole trend. It's creeping me out hearing like older dudes say, "Oh my God, she's cute." No, she's not cute. She's just young for you, bro. So cut that shit out. All right. So, anyways, that's my night for the. That's my thought for the night. Take it easy. Appreciate you guys. Catch you next week.
One day, I will get it right one day. Hey, remember how many times you used to do the messages for your voicemail? It goes something like this. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for locking into another episode of I'll Piss You Off Shortly. This is the podcast where we debate everyday issues pushing your thought process beyond what's normal. The topics discussed here are meant to be intense, promote growth, and at times may have you feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Me too, a little bit. We may not always agree, and we will more than likely have varied opinions. But with that being said, I can't promise to be your favorite podcaster. Neither do I want to. But I can promise to be transparent, fair, and open-minded. So please, if you think you've got the stamina, passion to debate, analyze, and challenge the normal, please take a number. I promise you, I'll piss you off shortly. Hey, mama, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast. Hey, I got a podcast.
My brain's saying go Whitaker, my heart's saying go Gastelum, so I'm gonna go Gastelum.
I gotta tell you, your words confuse me.
I'm standing there with the bat, and then here comes this Bugs Bunny pitch. Oh. Where is this going?
I like it because he makes some sense right until like the last 4 or 5 seconds, and then everything goes different than what he just said, and a different name comes out of his mouth.
Throwing Jabs, available for download on your favorite podcast platform.